Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how you can migrate your WordPress blog posts and pages to Shopify using the Matrixify app. Here you can see I'm on my WordPress store and these are the blog posts that I'm going to be migrating today. So honey in the kitchen, supporting local beekeepers, and the sweet science of honey, nature's liquid gold. I'll also be migrating pages, which in my case will be about, contact, and services. So let's get started. Head to your WordPress admin, which would look something like this. The first step of the migration would be to install the WordPress All Export plugin. This is needed so that you can export your blog posts and pages from WordPress to then be able to import the file into Shopify using the Matrixify app. I'll now show you how that can be done. Here is the plugin that you would need to install into your WordPress store. I will also leave a link to this plugin in the description of this video so that you can easily find it to install it into your WordPress store as well. To install the plugin into your WordPress store, copy the title of the plugin, head to your WordPress store to the plugins section on the left hand side of the page and paste the name into the search box, then press the magnifying glass. There you'll be able to see lots of different plugins as results, but the one that we need is the very first one. Go ahead and press install and activate to install the plugin. You'll then be able to see the plugin installing into your WordPress store. Once the plugin has been installed, you should be able to see this in your plugins page by installed plugins. And here you can also see that on my screen, the WordPress All Export plugin has now been installed. Now we can head to the plugin and start exporting our data. To do so, locate the plugin on the left-hand side of the page, and this will then open the WordPress All Export plugin homepage. We're first going to start by migrating blog posts, and once we've migrated our blog posts, we'll then go ahead and also migrate our pages. So starting off with exporting the blog post data, first we have to choose the post type. To do so, click on the drop down and select posts. Once you've selected posts, you'll be able to see how many blog posts will be exported. In my case, my store only has 3 blog posts, so 3 blog posts will be exported. We now need to go ahead and customize our export file to make sure it has all the necessary fields for Matrixify to be able to successfully import your data. To do this, press the Customize Export File button. This will then bring you to a page which will allow you to customize the fields in your exported file. I'll now go ahead and show you which fields you must include in your exported file to be able to migrate your blog posts. Starting off with the standard fields. So as pre-selected fields, we already have ID, title, and content. Apart from ID, title, and content, we also require excerpt, date, and permalink. You'll be able to find the available fields by looking to the right-hand side of your page and clicking on each drop-down. You'll then be able to add the field by dragging and dropping them to the field in the middle of the page. Now moving on to media. For media, we need to press the images drop-down, and for images, we only need alt text and featured. Then moving on to taxonomies. For taxonomies, we need categories and tags. For custom fields, you can add the Yoast SEO fields. These are optional fields, and if you have them, you can definitely add them, and that will add SEO data to your migrated blog posts. However, if you don't have these fields, that's completely okay. They're not mandatory for the migration. Now heading to other. For other, you need to select status, author first name, author last name, slug, and also post modified date, which will be the last field under other. Once you have all these fields selected, these are the only fields that you need to migrate your blog posts from WordPress to Shopify using Matrixify. You can definitely add other fields to this, but generally these are the minimum required fields that you do need to be able to migrate your blog post successfully. Now that we have our export set up, we can go ahead and press continue. Here you'll be able to see a bunch of different options and advanced settings. You don't need to change anything here apart from the export name. At the moment, the export name is post export and the date. What we need to do is rename the export to a Matrixify friendly name so that Matrixify can recognize this file as blog post from WordPress. To do this, your file name should include the words WordPress and posts. So in my case, I'm going to rename this export WordPress posts Matrixify. You can really name the file anything you would like to name it, as long as it contains the words WordPress and posts. Once you've done this, you can go ahead and press the Save and Run Export button. I'm going to do that now, and you'll now be able to see that your blog posts have been successfully exported. What we're now going to do is we're going to click to download the blog post as a CSV file. To do this, just go ahead and press the CSV button here, and then you'll be able to see that your CSV file has been downloaded. We now need to head to the Matrixify app to import our exported file. So here we are in the Matrixify app homepage, and this is where we're going to upload the file that we have just exported from the WordPress All Export plugin. To do so, click on the Add File button and then select the file that we've just exported. You can either drag and drop it to the field, or you can just press the Open button, whichever works easiest for you. You can now see that Matrixify has correctly identified your file as a WordPress all export format file, which is exactly what we're looking for. The app has also correctly identified that the file contains 3 blog posts and also 3 redirects. The redirects will be created for the 3 blog posts in your file. During the import process, more redirects may be created if your blog post contains images as well. You'll be able to see how that will work as we now walk through the import process. Before we can go ahead and press the import button, we first need to configure the import options. To do so, click on the options drop-down at the bottom of the page. Here you will see a lot of different options appear. We won't need to change all of these options, but we'll only need to change a few. So starting with the first option that we need to change, that would be the first option in the options drop-down, which would be in the format specific section. Here you will see a section called Old Server URL. What you need to add here is your old WordPress domain. To find your old WordPress domain, you need to go to your blog post in your WordPress. So this would be my blog post page, and take the domain of the store, which in my case would be Matrixify Test Store wp.comstaging.com. So then going ahead, copying that and pasting it here. It's required to fill in the old server URL because if in the blog post there are relative image links that do not have a domain, the app will use the fill domain here to construct the image link for image download. And in addition to this, although your WordPress exported file does contain the body HTML formatting of your WordPress content, the app will try to take the post content primarily from the WordPress API. This means that the app will connect to your WordPress front-end API by using the domain that you add here. The benefit of this is that the API returns front-end content HTML code, ensuring that the formatting is correctly migrated if using various plugins for content formatting in your WordPress store. The next option that we need to make sure to change is in the processing section. The option that we need to check is the dry run option. What this will do is it will convert your file into the Matrixify template without actually importing any data into your store just yet. This is perfect if you need to check the data before actually importing into your store, and generally it just is a safe option when migrating because you have a chance to check data. For WordPress blog post migrations, this is also a great option because when we do import now, a image file will be generated, and what the dry run option does is it gives you a chance to upload images to your Shopify content files so that your blog posts have images before your blog post actually go live. That would then be the only other option that you need to make sure is checked. You can leave all other options as they are. The default options work perfectly, but remember to add your old server URL and also check the dry run checkbox. If everything else looks good and as it should, you can then go ahead and press import. Now you can see that your file has been imported, but as this is a dry run import, nothing has actually been imported into your store just yet. You'll also be able to see that 19 redirects have been created instead of the 3 that you could previously see. This is because the app sees the images for your blog posts and also images within the blog post content, and has also created redirects for those images, which is now why the redirect count is more than it was previously, which is all well and good and working as it should. And now we can go ahead and download the import results file from this job by clicking the download import results button at the top right hand corner of the page. Once downloaded, you'll be able to see that a zip file has been downloaded. Go ahead and open that zip file and there will be a folder. Then open this folder and you'll be able to see an image folder and the actual import results Excel file. Now, the import results Excel file contains all the data about the blog posts that we're going to import, and the images folder contains the images within the content of the blog post. So if we click on this, we'll be able to see all the images from the blog posts. What we then need to do with these images is we need to upload them to your Shopify content files. To do so, head to Content, and under Content, head to Files. This is where we will then need to upload our images that we just saw in our image folder. You can then go ahead and press Upload Files, head to the image folder and select all the images to then upload them to your Shopify files. You'll then be able to see Shopify uploading your images into Shopify files. And once completed, you'll then be able to see all of your images in your Shopify content files, which is exactly what we need and exactly what we're looking for. Then heading back to the originally downloaded import results file, which you can find by unzipping the downloaded import results zip file, and within that you can then see the Excel file of the import results. You can check the data in this Excel file before going ahead and importing it without the drawing option selected, and that would actually be recommended just to make sure everything looks as you would like it to before actually importing it into your live store. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Here I have the opened Excel import results file, and I can see that I have 3 of my blog posts in this file, which is exactly as it should be, as my aim is to migrate all 3 of my blog posts. So here we have Honey in the Kitchen, The Sweet Science of Honey, Nature's Liquid Gold, and Supporting Local Beekeepers. You'll be able to see the body HTML, which is the content of the blog post, the summary HTML, tags. Here we can see images. You'll be able to see that these images actually still point to WordPress. That's completely fine, because when we import, Shopify will automatically download the images in the image source column, which is this column, and host the images, which means that if you do close your WordPress store, then the featured image or the image in the image source column will still stay as a fully functioning image. And the images in the content of your blog post, which would be in the body HTML of your blog post, those are the images that we have just uploaded into your Shopify files. So again, if you do decide to close your WordPress store, the images will still stay on your Shopify store when imported. You'll also be able to see a redirects tab, and these are all redirects from both images and your blog posts. If all looks good and as it should, which in my case it does, you can then save the file and go ahead and import. To mention, you can also make any changes you would like to this file. A very common change that people do like to make is changing the blog in which your blog posts go into. By default, we do put the blog post in a blog called blog, but you can change this to whatever you would like and whatever blogs that your store has by adding the appropriate handle and title of the blog that you would like your blog post to go into. As Matrixify can't guess what blogs you already have in store, we put the blog post in a default blog called blog as mentioned. So if all looks good and as you would like it to, you can go ahead and save the file and we can import. So here I am in the Matrixify app homepage, and this is where we are going to import our import results file that we just looked at. To do so, press Add File and select the import results file that we've just looked at and save, and you now need to go ahead and import it. So you can either drag and drop it, or you can press open. It's up to you, whichever works best and is easiest for you. So here you'll see the file analyzing and uploading. And as you can see, the file has been correctly recognized. We have 3 blog posts in the file and 19 redirects. You'll see here that 6 columns are ignored. This is nothing to worry about, as the columns that are ignored are just extra columns from WordPress, and the data that we do need has been mapped to the Matrixify columns anyway. So for example, the slug has been mapped to handle, the content has been mapped to body HTML, and so on. If all looks good and as it should, you can then go ahead and import. You don't need to change any of the import options. You can leave them exactly as they are. And apart from that, you can then go ahead and press import, which is exactly what we're going to do now. Pressing the import button here, the import's in progress. You'll be able to see your blog posts importing. And as you can see, we have 3 new blog posts and 19 new redirects. To see your imported data, you can head to Online Store, Blog Posts, and here you can then see our imported blog posts. So we have Sweet Science of Honey, Nature's Liquid Gold, Honey in the Kitchen, and Supporting Local Beekeepers. If we click on one, we'll be able to see that the blog post content does have its image. You can see it has its featured image, and you'll also be able to see that all of the image URLs in your blog post content actually point to Shopify, which is what we're looking for, so that if you do close close your WordPress store, your images will still stay in your Shopify store. So that would then be how the blog post is imported. And as mentioned, all of these blog posts have gone into the blog. Then if you would like to see the imported redirects, you can then head to navigation and click on URL redirect. And here you'll be able to see all of the imported redirects as well. And now moving on to migrating your pages from WordPress to Shopify using the Matrixify app. Now it will be pretty much the same idea as migrating your blog post, but now obviously we'll be migrating pages. The process really is very, very similar, if not exactly the same. Now moving back to our WordPress store, and we are back in the WordPress All Export plugin. This time when selecting a post type, you'll need to select pages instead of blog posts. So go ahead and click pages, and then again press customize export file. This will then bring you to the same type of page that we previously saw for blog posts, but this time the fields that we need to add are ID, title, content, which you can already see, and then under standard you'll then need date and permalink. For custom fields you can also add the Yoast SEO fields, but in my case I don't have these fields, but if you do, you can definitely add the Yoast SEO fields to this export. And then under other you must select status, author first name, author last name, slug, and post modified date. And that really would be it. That is all you need in your file to migrate your pages. And if all looks good, then you can go ahead and press continue. Here again, changing the export name to something that Matrixify will understand, which in this case would be Matrixify WordPress pages. As long as the file name has the words WordPress and pages, Matrixify will be able to recognize this as a WordPress exported pages file. Go ahead and name that there, and then press save and run export. And once the file has exported, download the file as a CSV file, and you will be able to see it downloaded here. Then heading back to the Matrixify app, we can import our exported pages file. To do so, press add file and select the pages file that we would like to import and open. Again, you'll be able to see the Matrixify app uploading the file and analyzing it. You can see that the Matrixify app has correctly identified that our file contains 3 pages and 3 redirects. You then can go ahead in the options and press dry run. Again, exactly the same as it worked with blog posts. If your pages do contain images, then the dry run step will give you a chance to upload the images to Shopify files before you actually import your pages. Here you can also add your old server URL, which would be here, and our old server URL would be this URL here. So I'll go ahead and add that. If all has been checked, all looks good, go ahead and press import. Now you can see that the pages have been imported and you can download the import results file. Again, to mention, as this is a dry run, nothing has actually been imported into your store yet. The data has just been converted into the Matrixify import template. So to see that, press download import results, and you'll be able to see that the import results have been downloaded here. So just like with blog posts, for pages, a zip file will also be downloaded, as you can see here. Click on the zip file to unzip it, and you will find an import results folder. Here, exactly the same as with blog posts, you'll see an image folder and the import results file. For images, it would be the exact same process of taking this image and uploading it into your Shopify files, which we can go ahead and do now. Here I am in my Shopify files, and here we're going to upload that image that we had for our pages. To do so, press upload files, go to your import results file and then the image folder, and here you'll be able to see the image or images depending on your pages that you would need to upload. Go ahead and press open and you'll see the image start to upload, and once uploaded we can then go ahead and check on the actual import results file to make sure all the data in that file is correct and as you would want it to be before you actually import into your store. Here I am in the import results file for our pages from the dry run import that we have just done. As you can see here, I have my 3 pages that I would like to migrate, which would be about, contact, and services. Here you'll be able to see the content of your pages, the title, the handle, and so on. If all looks correct and all as it should, then you can go ahead and check on your redirects. If everything for redirects looks good and as you would want it to, you can then go ahead and save this file and import this file into Matrixify. I'm now back in the Matrixify app and I'm ready to import my pages. So to do so, press Add File, select the import results file for your pages, press Open. Again, you'll see the app analyze the file, and the app has correctly identified that our import results file or our import file contains 3 pages and 4 redirects. Again, the ignored columns are nothing to worry about. That's okay and as it should be. You don't need to change any of the import options this time around. The ones that are default will work perfectly for what we're looking to do. And if all looks good and as it should, you can go ahead and press import. So you can now see 3 new pages have been created and 4 new redirects have been created. To view the created pages, head to Online Store, Pages, and here you'll be able to see all 3 pages that we've just imported with the Matrixify app. You can then click on the pages to see what has been imported. Here you can see the image that we uploaded to Shopify files, and all is as it should be. And that would be how to migrate blog posts and pages from WordPress to Shopify. We also offer a written tutorial on this topic as well, basically covering everything that I've just gone over in this video, but in written format. I will link this tutorial in the description of this video so that you can get to it easily. If you run into any issues or have any questions at all, we are always happy to help. You can reach out to us either via Slack or via email. Your question or query, concern or issue will be replied to within 25 hours. We are always on hand to help and always very, very happy to help answer any questions that you may have. Other than that, that would be it from me. Happy migrating!